U-GeekTV.
At the end of Thunderbolts, I came to terms with a harsh truth. It's something that it's been a long time coming, like a very long time coming, and we're here now. And I just have to say it. Marvel, even when it's a good movie, is no longer special. Let's get into it.
Let's talk facts. The Avengers are not coming. Who will keep the American people safe?
Welcome back to U-GeekTV. I'm your host, Jarius, Unapologetic Geek, and today I am back with another unapologetic review, and this time we are talking about Thunderbolts with an asterisk because that's going to mean something. Coming into Thunderbolts, I was genuinely excited. Like all the trailers looked good. It looks like the movie wasn't taking itself too seriously. It looks like, to me, it was going to be a good time, like a good time at the movies. And God knows we need more of that. And that excitement was with me, like it stayed with me throughout the majority of the movie. And it was like I just kept waiting for something else to click, something else to just happen to pop, to make me be like, yeah, maybe Marvel is back. Prime example, Deadpool and Wolverine. It had some moments. Now, some of that is attributed to nostalgia, but even if you took some of the nostalgia out of it, Deadpool and Wolverine was an enjoyable movie, and it had a pretty cool plot, had a cool villain too. And so it's not like I'm just jaded on everything Marvel at this point, right? I am, however, one of those people that has been there from the beginning. Like I was there opening weekend when Iron Man dropped. I saw all of those movies. I was one of those people who were going to all these movies and waiting for the end credits and seeing where we were possibly going to end up next. Like I was there opening night of Endgame and I saw the portals and I still get chills thinking about it. I saw all of that shit. And I'm one of the first people that I know of in my circle that admitted maybe we were headed in the wrong direction post Endgame. I'm saying all of that to say, even when it's good now, it's just not the same. It's just not hitting. And that's really the case with Thunderbolts. I'm going to try and be as unbiased as I can throughout this because, I'm the mayor of objectivity, right? But I got to keep it real too. Now, before we go any further, I'll let you know now, this is the spoiler-free review. I will be doing a spoiler review where I dive a little bit into like the state of Marvel and things of that nature. But for right now, I'm just going to talk about Thunderbolts, the film. And yeah, let's get into it. Well, before we get into it, of course, housekeeping. Like, share, subscribe, and let me know what you think about Thunderbolts in the comments if you've seen it. And now, here we go. So, Thunderbolts brings together like a bunch of misfits who are also villains in prior Marvel movies or like sidekicks. We got Yelena, who is another Black Widow. We have Red Guardian, who is Yelena's father. He was also the father of the original Black Widow. Rest in peace. Then there's Ghost. Then there's the Winter Soldier. Then there is U.S. Agent, aka John Walker. And we also have this kid named Bob, right? Oh, and Taskmaster for a limited time only. This crew comes together by pure happenstance. Like they're all sent, well, except for Red Guardian and Winter Soldier, they're all sent on missions where they're essentially cleaning up an issue for the federal government. And Julia Dreyfus plays the horrible federal agent who sends them out on this mission. Can't think of their character's name right now. And honestly, I really don't care too much for this particular review. But anyways, so she sends them out and they're supposed to kill each other. They end up not doing it. And they kind of rally around this kid named Bob, right? Everybody knows at this point who Bob is. Bob is the Sentry. Okay. That's not a spoiler, but if it is, so be it. Trust me, I haven't spoiled it nearly as much as Marvel has decided to only a few days after it's come out in the box office. So you snooze, you lose. Sue me. What's funny about this is the team is named Thunderbolts and they have a whole different reason for why it's named Thunderbolts. But in the comics, like this is Thunderbolt Ross's team. You just saw Thunderbolt Ross turn into Red Hulk. Red Hulk leads the Thunderbolts in one iteration of the Thunderbolts in the comics, right? You would think with both entities existing, the Thunderbolt team and Thunderbolt Ross as Red Hulk, that they would have. No, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen at all. If I sound a little angsty, I am. We're gonna get into that. Let's talk about the good things that this film does, though. Florence Pugh as Yelena is great. She brings comedy. She brings like a great bit of sadness and she really makes you feel empathetic towards her. She was a standout in Black Widow. She's a standout here. Um, she does such a good job of really giving you that, yeah, I'm a killer, but that's not all of me. That's not the only thing that I amount to or want to amount to in life. And she has a very interesting story. And honestly, her character is only supplanted by another character who I'm about to get to in just a second. Now, I brought up the word chemistry, and that extends to the entire team. David Harbour as Red Guardian is yet again awesome. Has some hilarious lines in here, but he has like some great moments with Yelena that you really feel, man. Like this is a man who wasn't the best father, despite being a super soldier, despite being a hero to his people. He wasn't necessarily a hero to his kids, even though his kids really wanted that. And you feel that in their character. Now, if you've seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which eventually became Captain America and the Winter Soldier, keep that in mind, by the way. The title change. Just keep that in mind. But anyways, Wyatt Russell is back as U.S. agent, aka John Walker. And John is still a bit of a jerk, an all-American jerk, same as he was in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. That character is still intact here, but he has some great pathos. He has some things that make you again feel for him, like feel bad for him and what all he's gone through, and the grief that he feels of not being able to be the next Captain America. Like they did a good job in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which doesn't get nearly the credit that it should in my eyes, of kind of setting up what it means to not only live up to the legacy of what Captain America should be, but living up to the legacy of Steve Rogers. And he's still struggling with that here, and he's still trying to prove himself. And as they slowly become a team, he constantly tries to establish himself as the most experienced soldier in the group and the one who should be leading them. And it's a great dynamic between himself and the rest of the characters. Again, it's all about good chemistry. Then there's Ghost, who we last saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp, who I always thought was a pretty cool villain. Not necessarily because of her personality, but more so because of her abilities. She's fine here. Like she does, what it is that she does, really. She adds a little bit in the right places. She's more of like a bench player in this situation, but still a character who's just interesting enough, especially when it comes to combat, to get some standout moments in the film. And finally, the de facto leader of the Thunderbolts is Bucky, the Winter Soldier. Now, he's not in this film nearly as much as I feel he should be, but he does have a significant presence as it pertains to the plot. Like he, with his part, moves things further along without getting into spoilers. But he's awesome. I mean, it's Sebastian Stan. It's the Winter Soldier, and he looks more like the Winter Soldier in this film than he has in a long time. Like that badass, this is the guy you really should be afraid of. That Bucky shows up in spurts here after not seeing him for so long. But all these characters pale in comparison to Lewis Pullman, who plays Bob, aka the Century, aka the Void. He really brings the heart and soul of this story into the forefront. Like it's his character that everything anchors on. Bob is tortured. He's a former drug addict. Some might even say he's a loser. And he's the only one who could take like this super um intense version of the super soldier serum, and he's able to take it and essentially become Marvel Superman, which is what Century amounts to in the comics as well. And he's great. Like the build up to when he actually becomes a Century is pretty solid, to be honest. And then there's this great fight between the Thunderbolts and the Century that like it really shows off his skills and how far he's come and how deadly of a force he is. But you also get that sense of that he didn't forget that these people were originally there to kind of help him out. So that was well crafted, a very good, well shot action sequence, even though it had plenty of CGI in it. And I very much enjoyed the way that unfolded when he finally becomes the Century. And then when he becomes the Void, the plot shifts and the dynamic between he and the team shifts again. And there's some very heartfelt moments that happen in the final battle that, while I like the route they took with it, it kind of drags out for me, if I'm to be honest, right? Um, but yeah, it's a fine film. Overall, like for the most part, I was entertained. I was entertained. So with that being said, let's get to the bad. Now, that's not to say that the film, has anything that particularly bad. I do feel that the pacing kind of was inconsistent. Like we start off kind of quick, and then there's this whole part in the first act where we kind of just stay in the same place for an extended period of time. And it kind of reminds me of the template for Thor, the first Thor film, where you start off in Asgard and then he finally gets to Earth. And at that point, the story kind of drags. It's almost the exact same thing with Thunderbolts. I just wish they would have done more like with their time. And I wish, honestly, when Bob becomes Sentry, I wish we did more with him just as a Sentry. Like it just comes and goes, and then it's time for the Void or whatever. How I would have done it differently, I don't know, man. I probably would have had him become Sentry halfway through the movie, to be honest. And really, I would have changed the entire plot, but this is not about how I would fix it or anything like that. I just feel like something else could have been done in terms of having this team come together to face off with the Sentry in the end. I said it when I got to Bucky, and I'll say it here again. I feel like the better option really was to follow Bucky and Yelena as they kind of find each other and come together to put this group together and kind of help to be the glue that keeps them together, the connective tissue. And Bucky more so handles that than Yelena does. Like her story is important and it's a great story arc. But in terms of the foundation of the team, I feel like Bucky would have been better served there, kind of righting his wrongs. Like that's an ongoing story with him trying to be better than he was when he was the Winter Soldier and proving that he could be a leader as well, which also gets me to another point. I truly do believe he should have been the new Captain America. His story as the new Captain America, honestly, is more interesting to me, considering his history with Steve, considering their brotherhood. And while I do respect like the history and brotherhood between Falcon and Steve, I feel like it means more if Winter Soldier is able to pick up the shield and honestly represent being more than the sum of your parts in that regard. The biggest quote unquote bad thing here is really the loss of the Marvel magic. Like the jokes, they're just okay now. They don't really hit like they used to, but I'm not even there for the jokes. The action isn't what it used to be, even though for the most part it's fine here, but it's just not again what it used to be. And the story, while good, isn't all that captivating in terms of the bigger picture when it comes to Marvel. Like as a standalone film, I guess it works up until you get to the end. And anybody who's seen this at this point knows what I'm getting at. They make a huge leap at the end of this film. And they explain what the asterisk means. And Marvel has already spoiled it. I'm not going to say anything here because I really want to get into it on the spoiler side of things in that next video. But yeah, it's a when it tries to swing, that's when it mostly misses. But that reveal at the end really just it made me feel like not that this was a waste of time, but just why? Just why? Again, I'll get into it in my next video. It's time to render a verdict here. Thunderbolts is a well put together movie. It has laughs, it has heart, it has some good action in it, and it's enjoyable. I'm not sure how rewatchable it is. I'm not sure I would revisit this like when it comes out on Disney Plus, like I have done some of the better Marvel movies over the years. And with that being said, for me, Thunderbolts is just unapologetically all right. It's a 3 out of 5. Like, sure, go see it. I mean, if you just feel so inclined, but honestly, you can wait for this to come out on Disney Plus. And although they try to make it required viewing by what they do at the end of the film, you could skip this and probably still be fine going into Avengers Doomsday. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. So Thunderbolts, have you seen it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Continue to like, continue to share, continue to subscribe. I appreciate you. And until next time, I'm Jari, Unapologetic Geek, and I am out.